Hey guys, today is the day we have Venus and Neptune coming into an exact conjunction. We also have Mercury forming a trine with Pluto in the sky right now. We could really be uncovering some very deep secrets and spiritual truths in regards to our relationships, financial matters, partnerships, and our true connection to spirit and the divine right now. We also today have some energy that may be giving us a bit of a pause, asking us to take some time to sort of stop and reflect on what we are learning or what is being exposed to us in this energy. And again, with Venus and Neptune in a conjunction today, you guys, this is like the heights of love, beauty, empathy, compassion, all the pleasantries, all the wonderful things. So we have that going on as well. Let's jump into the report and discuss what is unfolding in this Venus-Neptune conjunction energy today. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 27th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. And we have some beautiful energy to talk about today. Venus and Neptune coming into exact alignment, exact conjunction together at 25 degrees of Pisces. This is a beautiful energy. Whenever we have Venus and Neptune coming together, this is always going to be sort of activating our highest octaves of our heart energy and really opening us up to like a communion in a relationship with God, spirit, and the divine. A lot of divine inspiration is signaled through this transit. Very, very good energy for any type of artistic pursuits or creative endeavors, especially with the Sun and Mercury in Taurus right now as well, ruled by Venus. Creative things that we are putting our energy into right now are very supported in this energy. And this is also Venus and Neptune together. It just has a tendency to make us feeling like really good, really affectionate, very open-hearted, very compassionate, very empathetic, like coming from a true like open-hearted nature and desire to serve, desire to help, desire to like be of assistance in any way that we can from like a very genuine place. It can have us very like in our emotions and in our feelings as well, and just really desiring a higher spiritual connection, ability to relate to the other worlds. Venus ruling our desires, ruling our heart, Neptune ruling the spirit world and the way that we connect with God and the divine and with universe. And these two planets in a conjunction has us very much from a heart-based center, like calibrated to those more spiritual frequencies and seeking them out and expressing them. This is extremely good energy with Neptune and Venus together, especially in the sign of Pisces, where Neptune is in his rulership and Venus is in her exaltation. And we also have Jupiter only a couple degrees out, which also expands things. In these two planets in this sign, we really have a very strong ability in this energy to be able to imagine and to visualize and to imprint and to really hold within our mind's eye this creative inspiration or these visualizations that we are receiving or that we are coming up with, and being able to like tangibly actually ground them into reality. Again, especially right now with the Sun in the sign of Taurus, the sign of the builder, growing things and being ruled by Venus, who is in this conjunction. This is also, it can have a tendency to make us very idealistic in relationships. It's a very daydreamy energy. We may feel not so much like very active today, but more so just really wanting to relate to people, wanting to like shower people with like love and affection, wanting to create, wanting to do art, like, or any type of art, music, dance, like any of this type of stuff, or the projects that we're working on, just really putting some love into them that is coming from this like higher spiritual, open-hearted place. This is really, this energy actually at this point in time in our transition of ages, especially with Jupiter there and all of these three planets being so satisfied and happy and operating out of really their like full octaves and like the highest levels of their positive energy while they're in this sign that they all really enjoy being in via rulership or exaltation. What this is actually doing is, I feel, helping to recalibrate the heart center of the collective of humanity and really open us to sort of like the spiritual wave of a higher octave and way of relating to spirit, relating to ourselves, and therefore a desire to relate and to connect with other people as we are moving into this new energy, into the age of Aquarius. And we are really detaching ourselves from a lot of the negative subconscious programming and attachments and trauma-based belief systems and stuff of the past. And I feel like this energy is really healing our heart space in a lot of ways and helping us to shift our vibration in a way that can really provide us a easier and greater opportunity to attract and magnetize what will truly bring us fulfillment on a very soul level moving forward into this 2022 year, which also numerologically has indicated that that is what is trying to come to us with the way that the astrology and the numerology is playing out this year. We are in a year that is trying to bring us lost opportunities, like endless possibilities, miracles, like divine connections and relations, and an opportunity to really like tap into our potential and like activate our destiny, rise into our highest potential. And as a result of that, again, attract and magnetize these situations, these relationships, these connections, these circumstances, these opportunities that can really fill our soul with a sense of fulfillment that we may not have experienced before, as again, we are transitioning ages right now and the past is really falling away and we are stepping into a new paradigm and a new way of relating with ourselves, with the world around us, and also with God and universe. So I feel like ultimately that is the greater role that the energy is playing right now for us collectively, but in our personal lives on a mundane level, we could definitely just be feeling very inspired, very connected, a strong desire to relate and to share and to empathize and to like love one another, our family, our friends, our relationships. The thing that we do need to watch out for though in this energy is because it is so dreamy, because it is so idealistic, we have to be very careful with getting in new commitments right now, whether they be financial commitments or relationship commitments, these Venus themes. We really want to be careful because we have a tendency to sort of be seeing things through a little bit of like rose-colored glasses, or just over idealizing things, or just overlooking perhaps like small details and things because we're seeing and we're looking for the best. Like we're just seeing the best in people and circumstances and everything. And, you know, people are like likely to be really being their best selves in this energy because we're operating out of this higher heart-based frequency. But, you know, we just want to be careful because Neptune also does represent illusion and fantasy and hypnosis and confusion. And this is just not necessarily the energy where we want to be formally committing ourselves in regards to important financial decisions, important investments, important partnerships, or important relationships. Kind of want to use this energy for what it is bringing us, allow it to align us with these higher frequencies and open our heart to love and be open to what is coming in. But we just don't necessarily want to make serious commitments about it right now because we just may not be perceiving things totally clearly in this energy. So I wanted to say that, but on the flip side of this, it's not only that we have Venus and Neptune coming into a conjunction together today. We also have Mercury and Pluto forming a trine together in the sky. This is not exact. This will actually be exact tomorrow, but it's very, very strong and very, very much so building and in effect today. And these two aspects, the way that I'm looking at the chart, even though they may not seem that way on the surface, are actually very much tied into one another. And I feel like they're creating sort of like this energetic feedback loop in this energy that is actually helping to dissolve illusions in relationships and also illusions in terms of our relationship to God and spirit, higher power, and in regards to our relationship to our own self and our own sense of self-worth and self-value and self-love. These things going on together. In this, I'm reading in terms of the aspects themselves, but also in terms of the symbolism that is presented alongside the aspects via the particular planetary placement that's coming through today. Now, we have this conjunction between Venus and Neptune occurring exactly at 25 degrees of Pisces. The Sabian symbol for that degree, 25 Pisces, is the purging of the priesthood. And when we consider the other aspect that is playing out alongside of this Mercury and trine to Pluto. Pluto right now is in the very last degrees of the sign of Capricorn. Pluto's at 29 degrees of Capricorn right now. And Pluto rules purging. Pluto rules death, destruction, rebirth, and it rules purging, regeneration, like transformation, the phoenix rising energy. And in Capricorn rules establishments, authorities, long-standing orders of power that that like govern over the whole. And with Pluto in the end of Capricorn right now, as we are transitioning ages into the age of Aquarius, as Pluto is approaching his entrance into the Aquarius, I really feel that Pluto's positioning right now in and of itself is indicating a purging of the priesthood as a metaphor for like a breakdown and a sort of like dissolving of the power hierarchies of the past, be it in terms of just the general control systems that we experience in our daily lives, or the spiritual hierarchies that are maintaining from the previous Pisces paradigm that we are exiting right now. And I feel like Pluto at this degree and moving through the rest of Capricorn before entering Aquarius, when we really get these Age of Aquarius energies like very much going, I think that that Pluto at this degree is representing the same idea of the position where Venus and Neptune are conjoining today, the purging of the priesthood. And then we've got to talk about Mercury. Mercury is at 28 degrees of Taurus, forming this trine. Pluto is in the end of Capricorn, an earth sign. Mercury is in the end of Taurus, another earth sign. So they are forming the trine aspect. These aspects facilitate things. Mercury is in the sign of Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. Because of Mercury's placement in Taurus, this brings this Venus-Neptune conjunction today very much into what is going on with Mercury and therefore our mind and therefore this trine to Pluto. And not only that, right now, Mercury is at the Sabian symbol 28 degrees of Taurus, a woman pursued by mature romance. And Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn is at the Sabian symbol a woman reading tea leaves. So both Mercury and Pluto today, by their degree placement, are describing a woman reading tea leaves, and a woman pursued by mature romance. And Venus, the woman, is in the conjunction with Neptune today, talking about the purging of the priesthood. And I feel like Venus and Neptune together in their conjunction are very much representing a woman reading tea leaves. Like that is Venus and Neptune, the woman aligned with spirit and God, receiving spiritual guidance, spiritual inspiration, spiritual clarity. And the woman pursued by mature romance, that is really opening her eyes to the truth about what she really wants and desires in relationships based on the recognized sense of value and what she knows she's worth and what she knows she deserves based on this sense of self-love. And as a result of that, the mature romance that she is now seeking after. Because of this purging of the priesthood, because of the breakdown of the past, like dogmatic belief systems that may have held us in a state where we were surrendering our power out of any sense of perceived lack within us, or out of a lack of recognition of the truth of that value, of the truth of that worth, the potential, the resources that we hold inside of us, and the self-love that was represented by that, and also the sense of self-empowerment that gives us to really sort of take back control over our own lives and the trajectory of them as a result also of this reconnection with God and spirit and the awakening that we're coming to in terms of our true power to actually work with God and the divine, to play a very active role in creating and attracting the experiences that we want and desire going forward, instead of sort of subconsciously attracting our experiences based out of the mindset or the subconscious programming that was rooted in that priesthood of the past that is being purged right now. So I feel like these three, like the trine between Mercury and Pluto and the conjunction between Neptune and Venus today are sort of like this feedback loop of energy that is all really working together and sort of referencing each other, working together to wake us up to the truth that we are experiencing in relationships. Mercury and Pluto in a trine, you guys, this is penetrating insight. This is a desire to see under the surface of things, to see the root issues, to discover like what is truly at the core, to like really dig down deep and uncover what has been really like motoring the entire operation, sort of. Like Mercury and Pluto together gives us this penetrating insight into solving root issues, and it's very transformative and regenerative in terms of the way that our mind is working, the way that we're perceiving reality, the way that we're perceiving ourself and our value and our worth and our resources and our potential. Mercury being in the sign of Taurus, which rules all of those things, and also relationships and partnerships and financial situations, seeing the truth, what's been going on under the surface, this really becoming clear to us, and simultaneously us coming to a point where we can purge Mercury and Pluto, and also the purging of the priesthood degree where Venus and Neptune are today, the illusions of relationships or financial situations or value or worth that we've been operating under from the past that have been having control or power over us and our experiences. This Pluto in Capricorn, it's like magical to me, actually, the way that these things are intertwining together, and the symbols as well. I mean, a woman reading tea leaves, a woman pursued by mature romance, while we have Venus, the woman, in the conjunction with Neptune, the spirit world, this connection that is really like reminding us of the truth of our value, the truth of our worth, and therefore changing our perception of what we want, helping us to mature in terms of what we want, desire, love, and wish to attract into our lives in terms of those relationships, or in terms of how we're dealing with money, or in terms of how we're dealing with partnerships and resources and stuff like that. Really just pretty amazing how this configuration is working out. And there's just a spiritual energy that's driving all of it, coming from this Venus and Neptune. It's this high heart octave energy. It's like our heart is being opened up and we're connecting and relating to spirit from such a higher octave, and it's like filling us and helping us to reflect and to perceive this love and this truth that we hold inside of us, and this value and this worth that we hold inside of us, which is helping us to release ourselves from these dogmatic belief systems of the past where we may have been surrendering our power out of that sense of lack. And it's happening through this union with spirit and the divine, receiving this guidance, receiving this inspiration, the woman reading tea leaves, and it's causing this maturation in terms of our heart space energy and what we wish for and what we desire and what we want to attract and how we are relating to matters of the heart generally. So really, really beautiful, very transformative. This is a very transformative energy that's being represented as well. And also, I find it to be very interesting because today is sort of also energetically representing a need to sort of pause and reflect in the midst of all of this is going on, which honestly kind of makes sense. And the fact that we have this Venus Neptune today, and Mars is also in Pisces, energy may be a bit not like vibrationally low, but just physical energy may be a bit lower today, and we may just not be feeling super active, and we're really needing to sort of do some inward reflection today. And it's interesting because we have the position of actually the sun today for this Venus Neptune conjunction at 8 degrees of Taurus, again being ruled by Venus in this conjunction. And that Sabian symbol is a sleigh without snow. You know what I mean? Like there's no go, there's no like forward movement. We're sort of like stuck or paused or halted in this moment. And then the position of the earth today, what's happening, the state of things on the ground, that Sabian symbol is the moon shining across a lake. So again, there's this illumination that we may be receiving, shining across the lake, reflecting across the lake. We need to sort of pause for a moment in time today and just really be reflecting emotionally, internally, intuitively on the intuition that we're receiving right now, or on the spiritual guidance that we're receiving right now, or on the spiritual connection that's going on within us, or on the true state of what's been operating under the surface of things in our relationships, in our financial dynamics, in our partnerships, in our work situations, in regards to the projects that we are working on right now. A moon reflecting across the lake. I found that to be very interesting as well. And now let's talk about the moon. Since we were talking about the moon shining across the lake, the moon itself today is going to be forming a conjunction with Jupiter to start our day today. And so on the side of all of this other energy that we have going on, we also have the moon aligning with Jupiter, which is expanding this light, expanding this perception, giving us this higher view of things. Also probably bringing some optimism, some hope, some positivity, some luck, or some blessings too could be coming with this as well. But generally, this is just helping us to gain a greater perspective of what's been going on. Now, again, Venus and Neptune together, be careful jumping headfirst into financial or relationship commitments in this energy. This is more so about evaluating, our harvest, essentially, like the things from the past, where we're at now, how we've come to this point. What is the status of what we've grown? What is the status of our own growth and our own healing at this point in time? What is the status of our own relationship to ourselves, to our own value, to our own self-worth, to God and the divine? What impact is that having on our lives? Like, these are the things that we're supposed to be reflecting with in this energy as we are going through this process of purging, transforming out of the more limiting, constricting belief systems, attitudes, ideas, mindsets, programming of the past, and opening up to this greater spiritual connection and this more mature way of relating to ourselves and to our own wants, needs, and desires on an emotional and heart-based level as we are in this very open-hearted and expanded energy. Pausing to reflect very much today. Now remember, we also have Jupiter right now at 28 degrees of Pisces. That Sabian symbol is a fertile garden under the full moon, reveals a variety of full-grown vegetables. So we have two moon symbolism aspects coming in today, the position of the Earth and the position of Jupiter, who is going to be in a conjunction with the moon to start the day, the moon shining across the lake, and a fertile garden under the full moon reveals a variety of full-grown vegetables. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's what we should be reflecting in this energy is the state of our own internal fertility, our own value, our own potential, our own resources, and what we've grown up until this point. And if that is something that we want to continue to nurture, cultivate, and that we want to see grow and prosper, or if we need to sort of let go of some of the techniques and strategies that we've been using to grow in the past and maybe begin to embrace a new way of doing our own gardening, watering our own soil, so to say, as we are moving into this new energy. And also, like I said, with the position of the Earth or the Sun today, 8 Taurus, a sleigh without snow, there's just nothing really talking about us like taking some type of like actions right now. Like, we're sort of really being called to introspect, analyze, look at, what we've grown, like look at our harvest and really like take accountability for what we have going on, whether it's our own healing process at this point in time, whether it's the things that we need to let go and move on from at this point in time, or whether it's the manifestations that we are hoping to bring into fruition right now. Remember, this is also a super very potent window right now, this energy that we are in and moving into this new moon in Taurus for seeding our dreams into literal reality because of all of the like crazy Neptune, Venus, Jupiter energy that we have right now to really imprint through our imagination, through our feeling based, through our emotional body, what we want and what we wish for, what we truly desire on our subconscious mind, on the spiritual planes of reality, and then beginning to like act that faith, really trust that it is coming to us and step into that before we even necessarily see it on the 3D plane. All of these very essential steps for manifestation are very present in this energy right now as well. So it could also be talking about exposing to us where we're at in the state of our own manifestation processes right now in terms of the things that we are growing, attracting, and magnetizing to ourselves based on this recalibration and this heart-based energy that is going on right now as well. So all of that being represented in the Sabians alongside the purging of the priesthood, alongside the women reading tea leaves, the woman pursued by mature romance, the heart energy that we're moving into that is really going to be attracting and bringing us to us the things that can feed our soul, that true fulfillment that we may have not experienced before because of this evolution of the heart that I feel like is indicated in this energy that we have going on right now. Now, after the moon comes into the conjunction to Jupiter today, the moon will then move on into the sign of Aries. Now, this is, a couple of things are happening. First of all, the moon is going to be essentially like void of course for the rest of the day. The moon's not going to make aspects to any other planets until tomorrow when the moon comes into a conjunction with Chiron. But from the time that the moon conjoins Jupiter in the end of Pisces at 28 degrees of Pisces until tomorrow when the moon comes into a conjunction with Chiron, there's really no aspects going on. So we're in this void of course moon energy, which also is sort of energy of things sort of being up in the air a little bit, like unexpected things happen, like things not really going according to plan necessarily, like there being maybe just a sense of like lack of direction in things. But Mars is also the ruler of Aries, where the moon is going to be transiting during this void of course. And Mars right now today is at an aviator in the clouds. And so this is sort of also indicating to me that we really may not want to be taking again any like real spontaneous actions today, because we may not just be able to like see things exactly clearly. Although an aviator in the clouds, this again is sort of navigating the heavens, like navigating the spirit world, navigating the spiritual planes, like not really needing a very clear view of things, because we're sort of just like caught in this, immersed in this like relationship with the higher realms, with this degree in effect by the placement of Mars when we have the moon transiting into Aries today. So that's basically what I have to say for the report today, you guys. We're dealing with more moon void of course energy. We're sort of a sleigh without snow, the moon shining across the lake, the moon revealing the fertile garden and the full-grown vegetables, sort of pausing in place today, taking a moment to reflect. We're sort of like on the in-breath, I guess you could say, and just really like acknowledging what we've grown and where we're at, and just seeing like having illuminated to us the progress of either our growth, our transformation, what we need to do in order to grow and transform at this point, or the state of our manifestations and what we've been seeding and what we've been bringing into fruition. But also definitely this mental transformation, this purge of belief systems, this new connection to God and the divine, this very open-hearted relationship to ourselves that is acknowledging the truth of our own value, that is leading to this maturation in this heart space energy, that is helping to open us up to this unconditional love, that is in turn helping us to attract the things, the people, the scenarios, the circumstances, the opportunities that are really going to help us align with and magnetize to ourselves those things that bring us this true like heart-based soul fulfillment. So very significant energy that we have going on, that we have playing out today. And again, with the moon coming into the alignment with Jupiter today as well to start the day, we should be feeling pretty good. We should be feeling pretty optimistic. Definitely an emphasis though on belief systems and spiritual truths and things being illuminated to us seeing under the surface of things. And this conscious transformation, this conscious awakening, and also the spiritual awakening, this heart-based shift that may be occurring in this energy as well. So let's talk about the tarot for a few minutes now, you guys. So interesting, the cards that came out of the deck today in conjunction with the aspects that we have going on. We got 3 cards coming out this morning when I was shuffling the deck, asking God, Spirit, Universe to please clarify the collective energy, what's going on with us today, where are we truly at, just in our processing of this energy that we have going on right now. And the first card that we had coming out of the deck was the Ace of Wands. The next card that we had coming out of the deck was the 7 of Swords. And the third card that we had coming out was the Hierophant. And then on the back of the deck, we had the 7 of Pentacles. And I really do feel like this actually turned out to be a pretty, like, perfect explanation of what is going on in this energy, or perhaps what could be transpiring in a lot of cases in this energy. Now, for one, I found it to be very interesting that we had the Ace of Wands coming out first, because we do have the moon conjuncting Jupiter to start our day today, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. You know, this is that fire energy, and the Wands also rule Sagittarius, and this is like a new inspiration, like a burst of creative inspiration or divine inspiration in the context of Jupiter as well, like some type of truth or enlightenment or illumination really sparking like some type of passion within us. And then the next card that we had coming out, this is the 7 of Swords, you guys. This card right here is about stealing power, or any type of essentially like underhanded behavior or shady business, or like corruption, or just things not being done right. Like this is any type of like deceptive behavior, or just stealing power in one way or another, trying to get away with something. And then the next card that we had coming out was the Hierophant. This would be like, in this case, to me, is like the higher spiritual power. The Hierophant can represent a lot of things. It also represents tradition and authority and hierarchy and stuff like that. It would also represent, it could potentially represent the priesthood. And actually, when you put these 3 cards together, it's like this new inspiration disclosing, you know, what areas of power may have been abusing power or may have been stealing power, what authorities may have been stealing power. But I am also reading that, so on one hand, but on the other hand, I'm also reading this as this like divine infusion of inspiration that is coming in, that is like exposing where power has been stolen from us, or where we have been being deceived or manipulated in some type of a way through a spiritual connection or a higher power coming through. So I'm kind of seeing this in both ways. And on one hand, it's like we are either gaining this like new inspiration, this new understanding, this new like passionate drive or motivation based on some belief systems that had been stealing our power, or something that we had been surrendering our power to, sort of gaining a forefront, like us, that being illuminated to us. Or on the other hand, this spiritual presence, this higher presence, this hand of God through whatever like illumination is coming through, showing us where we've been surrendering power, or where power has been being stolen from us, or where we've been being deceived in some type of a way. And then on the back of the deck, having the Seven of Pentacles there, this is the card of like looking at your harvest, like looking at what you've reaped essentially, like what are the state of things now, like what have we grown. And so when I read all of these cards together in the context of this energy, I feel like it's talking about this Venus, all the aspects that we have at play today, and especially Jupiter and the moon, giving us this new spark of understanding, giving us this new spark of light or new spark of passion that is disclosing to us, you know, where we have been surrendering this power, or what belief systems have been keeping us out of power, or what authorities have been stealing our power or our sense of value in ourselves, and where we're at essentially right now because of that. And this card to me is also like sort of taking a pause to contemplate where we're at and what we've grown, which is the symbolism that is being presented by the sun, the sleigh without snow, and also the moon and Jupiter today, the moon reflecting across the lake and the moon showing the fertile garden full of full-grown vegetables. I feel like this is talking about like we're sort of taking an inventory of where we're at right now in our process of growth, or the state of things for us generally, and something is becoming, some new inspiration is arising out of either discovering where our belief systems or the rules or the authorities that we had been adhering to have been stealing our power, or some type of higher power and a connection or an inspiration from this connection to a higher power disclosing to us where we may have been surrendering, or where we had been being deceived, or our power stolen in some type of way. But also with Mercury in the trine to Pluto today, that is also very indicated and highlighted as a result of that aspect. So very interesting how the cards came out today in the context of the energy. It's like we are figuring out why we're at where we're at now, and what we need to fix, what we need to remedy, what we need to purge, what priesthood we need to purge as a result of the woman reading tea leaves, this spiritual guidance, or this intuitive understanding, or these dreams that make something known to us, or just this awakening that we're having right now that is restoring our heart center, opening our heart, and helping us to gain a more mature relationship to ourselves, to spirit, and to our own self-value, our own self-worth, and what that means in terms of what we want and desire for ourselves going forward. Interesting how it all comes out like that. So now I'm going to draw us one last card, a synchronicity card. This is going to be a message from God that we need to hear alongside this energy that can just, you know, help us a little bit as we are going through the day in one way or another. Just see if there's one more thing that Spirit wants to tell us. And actually, we got two cards that just came out, so I'm going to read both of them. We got, oh, interesting. We got trust and we got decide. Yes, wow. Okay, I'm going to read trust first. It says, trust also in him, Psalm 37:5. Trust in God to lead you to the person you need to fulfill your needs. Make certain you are the type of person that person would wish to associate with. Make certain you have defined your needs and desires before you make your request. Remember, all things are possible through God. And with what we have going on and all this Pisces energy, Jupiter, Neptune, Venus, trusting is really everything right now. Absolutely. And then the next card that we have, it says decide. A house divideth against a house falleth. Luke 11:17. When you cannot make up your mind about something, you are battling in your own mind. Your house is unstable. Come to a clear-cut decision about a situation and follow what is good and right. Stick to that decision. Do not waver. So that really might be sort of where we're at in this energy with Mercury and Pluto in the trine and this sort of feedback loop that we have going on with Venus and Neptune, deciding what we truly want, what we no longer want, what we are cutting ourselves away from, what we are purging based on this recognition of the truth of the value within us and what that represents in terms of what we want for ourselves going forward. We need to trust today and we need to decide. It's the advice from God. That is the messages from the stars, you guys, the messages from the cards. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can make your navigation through your energy today a little bit easier. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends if you think they would be interested. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. Thank you guys again so much for being here. I have a Facebook group, a Facebook page, a website, and some other social media. Those are in my description box below if you're interested in any of that. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We are rapidly approaching this new moon in Taurus that we have coming up on the 30th, and we're going to have more energy to talk about. Tomorrow, Mercury and Pluto are going to be forming that exact trine. So what has been building, what we've been discovering, what we've been figuring out maybe over this past couple days is probably going to really come into like a full fruition tomorrow. So we'll see, you guys. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Enjoy this very lovely energy today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.